Hello everybody and welcome to this Thursday evening. It's time for the Front Row Racing World Series Round 11 from Hungary. In a few moments we'll go through the drivers, the teams, the standings, the reserve drivers that are in going to be on the track today. However, we are just going to have a little bit of a chat as well with my co-commentators. I'm from Racing DP, and joining me in the commentary box is TempFear and potentially a slightly differently excited Arazor21 today. We'll get onto that in a few moments' time. And we just want to give a few of the drivers that haven't been able to get into the lobby yet a few moments to do so. But I will hand over to TempFear and Arazor for a little bit of a chat about what we may be expecting from the World Series drivers today.
Yep, so speaking of you, Arazor, I don't know if you saw the race last night, but do you think a few of the drivers will replicate some of the strategies or decisions, or do you think, as I always ask you, do you think it will rain?
Sure, if they watch the race, I think they will modify their strategies, and yeah, and I hope it will rain as usual. That will be fun racing.
Well, there you go, drivers. You know to blame if it does rain. But
yeah, I'm here every time.
We haven't had rain for a while in the World Series, I don't think. Actually, I'm trying to think when the last time it was.
Yeah, it's time for rain this time.
It's been a couple of races of that, I am pretty much certain. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go through, let's see, the drivers and the teams. So in the Mercedes, you'll see that we've got Calzo210, who's in as a reserve for Hindle tonight. Hindle's away in Scotland, so Calzo taking his place in the Petrol Pumpers Mercedes team, and Conzo has a chance of taking the Drivers' Championship lead from this event. In the old crash test dummies Ferrari, we've got Dave the Harp and Jason, and in the censored Williams, we have Mr. Loki reserving for Kane Ianda, and we also have Bleeding Sunrise taking his usual seat. In the New Age Outlaws Red Bull, we've got Rickster, A1295, and the OG Dragon sitting in as a reserve for MX Everglow. In the Hey Ho Double Toe Force India, we've got Farfber and RDB. Got his name a little wrong there. In the Wrong Tyres Renault, we have a new permanent partnership of Valdemar and SBL Mali Kekech. Both drivers have come through the World Series reserves and shown some good racing. I've just cursed them, but they've now got a permanent seat in the Renault team. In the $1 Million Herbie Toro Rosso, we've got Millstar and Ant69, while in the Mental Age of 10 McLaren, we have from a Racing GP and Caribbean Crush, who is in as a reserve driver for DSC Man today. And in the Manor Racing team, we don't appear to have either driver, which is a bit of a shame, so the lobby will need lock-in to 20. Because it looks like Mystic Joker and Lefty Hardtail aren't going to be at the track today. In the Haas team, though, the admins pick rookie driver. We have Gonk721, who's taking his second attempt at the admins pick rookie driver. In a few moments, we will send the drivers over to the circuit. But TempFear, if you could take us through the last race results, please. And in a few moments' time, we will send the drivers over to the track.
So yeah, last race, round 10, Silverstone, pretty interesting, especially for the standings at the end of it. So we had Conzo taking the win, a good solid 25 points for him. I think it was his fourth win in a row, sorry. In second, although he was 34 seconds behind, it was Front Racing GP thanks to a few penalties for the drivers. So it's a solid result from him, gaining 14 positions from his qualifying place. In third was Jason, so Ray's had a little party for that one. In fourth was one of the reserves in the Wrong Tyres Renault. Fifth was Hindle. He did finish across the line in second, I believe, but again, 40 seconds worth of penalties dropped him down to fifth, so it won't do his championship any good, especially with this race. Sixth was Millstars, good result for him. Same could be said for Farfber in seventh. Eighth was Bleeding Sunrise. Ninth was the other reserve for the Wrong Tyres Renault. 10th, Kane Leander. 11th was Dave the Harp. And then RDB, Admin Spit Rookie Car, MX Everglow, all DNF with Mystic Joker, Ant, and Lefty Hardtail getting disqualified with Rickster and DSC Man not starting the race.
Okay, if you could just quickly lock the lobby to 20 for us, Temp, and we will send the drivers over to the circuit, and we'll see how they're going to get on here today. A couple of comments on the YouTube channel, which I'll get to in a moment. Just want to let my commentary team know as well that we have got a little bit of an echo, so if you are listening to YouTube, you might need to turn it down a bit. And as soon as you've locked the lobby, Temp, we can hit ready and send them over to the track. So there we go. And while we're waiting to get over to the circuit, I'm going to go through the current Drivers' Championship standings. Leading the way is Hindle in first place on 155 points, but as we mentioned, he's not here today. Konzo, his teammate, is in second place on 152 points, with Mystic Joker in third on 120. He too is not here today. Lefty Hardtail in fourth place on 78 points, not going to be at the track, which is a shame. Jason, though, in fifth place, he's got 62 points, may be able to gain a position. From a Racing GP in sixth place on 44, Rickster in seventh on 37. And 69 is in eighth place on 35 points, while Andy Russell actually is not going to be with us. He did score 32 points, but he has been replaced now by Valdemar, so Andy Russell will be knocked off the list. The FRR admins pick Rookie is positioned 10th place on 31 points, while Farfba is in 11th on 22. Millstar in 12th place is on 20 points. RDB is in 13th on 13 points. Bleeding Sunrise is in 14th on 12 points, while Dave the Harp is 15th on 10 points. And then we've got K Nyanda on 5, DSC Man on 3, and then we've got SBL Mali Kekech and MX Everglow both on 0. The Constructors' Championship standings look like this, with Petrol Pumpers Mercedes on 307 points, Yank and Limey Manor on 198, Censored Williams on 100 points, and then Mental Age of 10 McLaren on 82, and they're joined by the old Crash Test Dummies on the same amount of points. The Wrong Tyres Renault are on 78 points, while $1 Million Herbie Toro Rosso are on 55. New Age Outlaws Red Bull, they're on 38 points, and two behind them is the Hey Ho Double Toe Force India team, and the FRR Rookie Marabobo Haas rounds out the top 10 on 31 points. Okay, let's have a quick look at what the weather's going to be like, because that's what Tony's going to be interested in. It looks like it's going to be a nice sunny qualifying session, and the race could be a little cloudy, but there's no real hints of rain, which is a little bit of a shame, I think, there. But a nice sunny qualifying session nevertheless. Okay, on to a couple of the YouTube comments. We've got GT5 King and Ivor GT5 King's calling a Calzo Conzo crash. They are brothers in the same team, but also Ivor is calling a Calzo Conzo disconnect, which is a possibility. There is a risk of that, while Overdikink is calling a Calzo Conzo 1-2 finish. We'll have to wait and see. But for Calzo and Conzo, it is quite a big test to see whether their connections can live up to it, and B, how they get on as brothers in the same team, on the same track, at the same time. Okay, so as the drivers make their way out onto the circuit, it looks like Millstar is going to be the first out there on track. And TempFear, I'm going to come to you quite quickly for some of the pre-race comments, if you're going to be ready for them. Yep. So since I'm watching Millstar, if you could actually tell us Millstar's pre-race comments and his teammates and 69's.
So Millstar's bringing balanced tyres, as with most drivers. Quickly speaking on tyres, no one is bringing the softest set of tyres to the track that we know of anyway. We have 9 bringing the set of balance, 5 the hardest, and 2 of them won't tell us because they're just horrible. But yeah, Millstar's bringing balanced tyres. We asked him on the drivers ahead, he'll beat your teammate 82 in qualifying, while you've beaten your 82 in the races. Can you comment on that? He answered with, on the teammate rivalry, I think there is a difference between being faster and being better. I think I'm faster now, confidently, but it's shown clearly that my above statement is only over 1 lap. Over 50%, he's very good at staying out of incidents while I can be the touch aggressive, and while that used to pay off on Fridays last season, against these guys I'm starting to learn how to change my driving style, but it's confident tonight. On the flip side, we asked Anna a very similar thing. He's bringing balanced set of tyres. And he said, I build setups to the race, so no, I'm not as fast, and you can get plugged to body. 8 Hungary, so anything past the lap 1 crash is an improvement on last season. So, don't know, I'm guessing you've never crashed last season, which I don't recall.
Interesting comments between the two teammates, though, regarding the head-to-heads there. But Milstar has started his first flying lap. He's on the soft compound tyres. Tyres we've got available are the super soft, that's the red mark tyre, the soft, the yellow mark tyre, and the medium, the white mark tyre. And one stop may be possible, two stop could be quicker, depending on what traffic the drivers are going to have. Sector 1 time from Milstar, 28.0, and going off yesterday's times, that's not too bad. We hopefully be looking at somewhere around about 27.7, 27.8 maybe. Well, Milstar coming through Sector 2, and I'm going to let TempFear have a look through perhaps some of the drivers' pre-race comments and see if there's any that he wants to pick on that we can have a mention of, as Milstar makes a bit of a mistake through Sector 2.
I'm going to leave that comment because I ain't going to near that one.
Well, I've just seen the Ricksters retired from the session. I'm not sure if that was a retirement or a crash. I don't know if you'd be able to perhaps check that one for us, Tony.
Retirement.
It was a retirement, maybe strategy call there. But Milstar is about to cross the line, and he's going to go provisional pole, but that is because Rickster's car is off the track. Yeah, that is because Milstar was the first to cross the line. Konzo is out there on an out lap at the moment. So is Front Row Racing GP on a set of intermediate tyres. Valdemar, he's on his first flying lap on a set of super softs. Now, Tony, if you do see anyone popping in decent lap times or anything happening, feel free to give us a shout. But we have also got a couple of questions of the day to do today. I'll get to those in a moment. But Temp, have you got any pre-race comments from a driver you want to mention?
Do the both Ferrari boys, since one of them is Arazor's best mate. So David Hart asked him, he said sub-track on car, driver, and another take, how can we make it easier? He answered, just do like I did last night on Jehokin, pressure car with friend if I can wait for mistakes. Jason, we asked him best result this season last time out, which we got third. And he matched in Hungary. He said, I'm pretty sure to grab some points, but it'd be difficult to reach a podium place in fifth. Which he may well do around here.
Yeah, he may well do. I mean, Jason's been doing quite well recently with results. I think for Rickster it may have been a disconnection, you know, not a direct retirement. Valdemar, he's had a good Sector 1, a 27.7. Sector 2 though, a 31.2, a bit messy, and into the pits he's going. Caribbean Crush is on an out lap. Let's go and see if we can get on board with Konzo, who should be on his flying lap now. He is. He's done a 28.0 Sector 1. He's on the super soft tyre. And I spoke to Konzo earlier on. I said to him, this is a great opportunity to take the championship lead. Are there any concerns that aren't connection related? He said, as for connection, it could be an issue as my brother is my teammate tonight. And another concern is that he has got good pace around this track. So you might see a brother versus brother battle on the track, as long as it's dry, as long as it's a dry race, because this track is a nightmare in the wet. He said as well as it is a great opportunity to put at least 20 points between himself and Hindle, which would make it one hell of a battle for the title as he has entered into the pits. Let's see if his reserve teammate is out on track at the moment. No, he is sitting in the pits. So I'll get on to Calzo's pre-race comments in a few moments. Loki has gone pole position with a 1:20.755. RDB is apparently on a flying lap. Is he? No, it's not showing it as a time. GP still going around on intermediate tyres. That's a tactic we saw him use a couple of seasons ago. Caribbean Crush, he is going out on track. So let's see, we haven't got any pre-race comments from Caribbean Crush, as he was not a last-minute reserve, he was a standby reserve for DS Z-Man. So what I'm going to do now, I'm quickly going to put out question of the day, or should I say, the first question of the day. The first one is, what did Tony have for dinner? Because he ain't got any way he knows of explaining what it was. Overdiking, you're not allowed to answer that one, but if you want to have a guess at what Arazor had for dinner, and perhaps Dom can let us know later if anyone's guessed it right. But Tony, do you know what it was you had to eat? Tony, do you know what it was Dom cooked you for dinner?
Well, he didn't cook anything, but
he cheated, did he?
Takeaway.
It was a takeaway.
Yeah.
He's no idea what it was he's eaten, but there we go. Caribbean Crush, he's done a semi-okay Sector 1. Sector 2's not too shabby. Let's see what the lap time's going to be. It's 4th place, a 1:21.372. I'm going to get on to the proper question of the day in a moment as well. I'm going to pop the camera on Bleeding Sunrise. Okay, question of the day. And it's a bit of a random one, folks. So as Bleeding Sunrise starts his flying lap, get ready for this. And no cheating, no Googling this one. But what is the fastest mile done in a bomb disposal suit? So in length of time, what was the fastest mile done in a bomb disposal suit? Pop your guesses on the YouTube chat for that one. Go on, Tony.
I wonder how you figured that out. Like, where do you find that information and how you get it?
All very interesting questions which may come to light a little bit later on. Okay, just under 10 minutes left of the session. Bleeding Sunrise has done a 28.0 Sector 1. Had a bit of a chat with him before the race and asked him if he feels he's got the pace to get on the podium, as he has a bit of a tank slapper coming through turn 6 and 7. He said he doesn't think he's got the pace to get on the podium. He said he's really not on his pace lately, although he has done a fair bit of practice for Hungary, so we'll see what happens. Well, what has been happening so far is the rear end trying to step out on him a bit. The 28.0 Sector 1 and a 29.7 Sector 2. That's not too shabby. That's on for being ahead of 4th place at least. So let's see what this final sector's like. What it is like is rather slidey for him. Needs to get the grip underneath him around this final corner. And there the rear end goes again, showing possibly a low rear wing. And it is 4th place. Sector 3's let him down a little bit there.
While you was on about that, Caribbean Crush on the soft tyres just put himself into 2nd place, 20.9 I believe it was. But I want to quickly mention Ant, he's got a very, very quick last sector. He's the only one in the 22s in the last sector, with 2-3 tenths quicker than anyone else.
Interesting. So Ant showing some pace in Sector 3 at the moment. Someone else that's showing some pace is SBL Mali Kekec. He's done a 27.8 Sector 1, a 29.4 Sector 2. Let's see if he can get into the 22s in this final sector. A little bit of understeer on entry into the penultimate corner, but he is on the super soft tyre. Round the final corner he goes, perhaps a little bit too patient there, but let's see what's going to happen now. DRS wide open and it's pole position, a 1:20.225.
First 2 sectors purple, with the last sector being 200 slower than Ant in the last sector.
So pole position lap time, still hasn't got the fastest Sector 3. See, Jason's had a 28.8 Sector 1. That's not the best. It looks like he may be on an in-lap. The OG Dragon and Dave the Harp, they're on in-laps. Konzo, he's back out there. Or, yeah, he is back out there on the soft compound tyre. Is Calzo on a lap?
No, he's at the chicane, so Konzo will be the first one out to set time.
Okay, so I'm going to keep an eye on Konzo here, and if you can keep an eye on Calzo, and we can update the sector times as they go through them. So Konzo then into turn 1. It's a heavy braking zone, and it's a heavy throttle zone on the exit of turn 1. DRS wide open for the awkward downhill turn 2. Keep it tucked in nice and early on the power. Absolutely flat out now through 3. Head up to the blind, turn 4. Let's listen to Konzo going through there. Big lift, avoiding the apex by a mile, avoiding taking too much exit curb as well. Sector 1 time of 27.939 into the Mickey Mouse chicane. Car's looking very, very stable for him. We've seen this at previous races where the car looks nice and comfortable. Oh, and as I say that, he has a little bit of a twitch. See, Sector 2 time, what are you going to be? It's a 30.093. I think that's down a little bit more than he would have wanted, but this may be a banker lap for him. Let's see what this Sector 3 time is going to be when he crosses the line. How's Calzo's Sector 1 time?
He's just put in a 27.986, so I don't know what you said about Konzo, but
think it's quicker.
It was slightly slower, but Konzo goes 4th place. Let's go and get on board with his teammate, Calzo, also on the soft compound tyre. Yeah, 27.986, slightly slower. Sector 1, let's see how if he gets on Sector 2. Anything lower than a 30, it's quicker. He is quicker, it's a 29.9, but I don't think it's anywhere near as quick as the fastest Sector 2.
No, it's a good half second off that.
Yeah, well, for Konzo, he has nothing to prove here. For Calzo, there's quite a bit he could prove here. But let's see how he gets on round the final corner. Red helmet in a Mercedes. We can't call him Shuey, but we can call him Calzo, and he steals that 4th place. And
between the two.
Yeah, actually mentioning Calzo there as well, just quickly mention Calzo's pre-race comments, and then we're going to come to Gonk's pre-race comments, if you can get ready for that, Temp. Calzo asked, I said to him, this is a great opportunity for you in a top team. What's your goal or team's instructions? He said, goal is top 5. There's no team instructions just now, going as the crow flies. Well, at the moment, the crow is flying happily into his bedroom rather than his brother's, because he is slightly ahead. Gonk, he's just going to put himself 12th place, and what did Gonk have to say before the race?
He said, we'll see how the tyres and weather go. I've worked on uploading and not putting corners. I'm looking for a more positive race second time out. Okay, let's have a quick look at the old timing screen then from a Racing GP. He's still only done a lap on intermediate tyres. Caribbean Crush, is he back out there on a flying lap? He is, and he's on the super soft tyre. But Tony, what have you got your eyes on if you're able to keep them open and avoid wanting chocolates?
Well, I watched both Ferrari drivers went back to the track, and they are going to set one last laps in the final second.
Okay, what position are they both in at the moment?
Well, Jason is 8th, and 8 Hart is 13th. And both are in a out lap, so, well, Jason, who just started, is flying up. Okay.
While you were talking there, Caribbean Crush has just gone and taken pole position. His qualifying session is now over. SPL Mali Kekech has gone and put himself in 2nd place. Mr. Loki's in 3rd. He's sitting in the pits. Millstar, though, he's in 4th place. Looks like he's making sure he gives plenty of room there. On board with Jason now, one of Tony's favourites, and as he was just talking about him, let's see, Sector 1 time at 28.1, but if we got anybody else out there that could potentially fight for a top 10 position?
No, I've just seen the OG Dragon playing the same Sector 1 soft tyres.
Oh, so the OG Dragon going quite quick. Well, is it the OG Dragon going quick on the soft tyres, or is it Jason being off the pace a little bit on the super softs? I think it could be off the pace a little bit on the super softs. So let's see how the OG Dragon's going to get on then, because he is currently a position behind Jason. Sector 1 time a 28.1, Sector 2 a 30.3. And we did have a little chat with the OG Dragon earlier on. If I can find his comments, I'll mention them. He is. His his qualifying is over, so we'll worry about him a little later on. RDB, though, he's on a flying lap at the moment. And you know what? I had a chat with both him and his teammate earlier on. His teammate first, I'll deal with Farfba's comments first. I asked Farfba, I said there's rumours in the paddock, but they're obviously in the Hey Ho Double Toe Force India team, as RDB puts himself in 6th place. Yeah, I said to Farfba, there's rumours in the paddock that you're the Hey and your teammate is the Ho. Is it true, and will the double toe work in Hungary? To which Farfba responded with, sorry to tell you this, but the rumours are true. He is the Ho. He drives around in a maid's outfit, ready to respond to my every need late at night. He said, I highly doubt the double toe will work, but I'm sure me and Ryan will put on a show as we always do. Let's see, has Farfber put a lap in? He's actually out on track at the moment, just about to put a lap in, and in 30 seconds we're going to get kicked from the pit lane. So let's see what RDB had to say. I asked him, or I said to him, this is a tough track on the car, driver, and to overtake on. How can you make it easier? He said, I'm just hoping to get to the end first and foremost, and with a few battles along the way. As always, I have a few places I'm confident I can overtake people, and my setup feels good in wet or dry conditions, which is always a plus. A tow from Paul on the pit straight in quali is in my contract, so I hope he honours that. I will beat Paul at this one. So, RDB looking confident as we get kicked from the pit lane. I'll get back on board with Farfber as he goes on to complete his lap. We won't be able to see the sector times, unfortunately, but we will be able to see if that number in the top left corner goes from 19 to a much, much lower number.
Why
I
you
have an interesting fact.
yeah, what is it?
I just realized that both Mercedes drivers are in 7th and 8th place, and they are not in the track. So that's their positions, and I can remember last time when a Mercedes driver was so low in the qualifying.
That's a good point. Maybe Temp will be able to have a look in a few moments and check that one out for us. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a surprise. They're kind of in the danger zone down there. And in a few moments' time, I'm going to have to jump out of the lobby. So Temp, another thing you might have to do as well is quickly run us through the qualifying order when we get to that. But an interesting qualifying session. And if Caribbean Crush has gone and taken pole position, it's a fantastic place to start from around this circuit. I'm going to quickly mention... sorry, Tim, you were going to mention something a moment ago when Razor wanted to.
I was going to mention about Valdemar while he was talking about those curious comments. His first permanent drive, he stuck it on third on his first lap on the soft tyres. He did do another lap and was 2 tenths up until the last sector, but he improved about half a tenth, but he has done 2 laps on them, and he could have just done the one at the same position in quali.
Yeah,
but he used the highest starting soft runner saying that.
Ooh, well, that will make things very, very interesting. Okay, a quick reminder of what the question of the day is. The first one is, what did Tony have for dinner? If someone could tell him, that'd be great. And the second one is, and this is really the more important one, not important, but the one we really want the answers from, is, what is the fastest time? I need to get the question out before I ask it, otherwise I'll get it wrong. Apologies, folks. Okay. What's the fastest mile covered in a bomb disposal suit? So how long did it take to cover a mile in a bomb disposal suit? And that question will become more relevant towards the end of the show. So as we wait now for the drivers to make their way to the garages to complete the qualifying session, we'll get the qualifying order up on the screen as soon as we can, and we'll run you through that. But a very interesting qualifying session and a very difficult race coming up for a number of the drivers. And for there we go, timing screen. So quick look at that. So Temp, when you're ready, if you could run us through the order.
Let me just do a James and get my proof. I can't really stop fill that like James can I? Right, on pole, say we have Caribbean Crush on the super soft tyres. 19.9, only went into the 19s, but only just. Second, we have SBL Manikeke, just less than 10 behind, it was on the same tyres. And then we have the 2 soft runners of Valdemar and Mr. Loki, with Valdemar being 3 tenths quicker than Mr. Loki there, so watch out for. Fifth, we have Millstars on super soft. Sixth, we have RDB, also on the super softs, and then we have the 2 Mercedes in 7th and 8th, as Arazor said, both on the soft tyres, in a bit of a danger zone there. So it'll be interesting to see how they get along. 9th, we have Bleeding Sunrise. 10th, Dave the Heart. 12th, the OG Dragon. 13th was Gonk. 14th was Ant. 15th was Farfber, so maybe did give his teammate a bit of a toe down that straight since he got pretty high up in the order. And Rick said didn't set a time along with another driver, which I can't actually see. I'm trying to think which driver it would have been.
Well, you'll be able to have a look while you're on the formation lap. You'll also be able to have a look at what tyres drivers outside of the top 10 are on. I've got a feeling they're all going to either go soft or mediums. You also need to give me a shout when the formation lap is underway, and I'll get back in there to try and catch the start of the race. But if it does happen to error on us and I can't get back in, we would have to do a quick restart where the drivers will be able to do a normal race start in the positions that they have qualified in. Now, there are a couple... Sorry, say again?
There was no one behind us. That's me just imagining things. Ignore me.
Yeah, don't worry, we will. Now, there are a couple of drivers' pre-race comments we haven't got to yet, but don't worry, one of them I'm saving because it's a bit tricky. But we will cover what we can. For Konzo, though, an opportunity to take the lead of the Drivers' Championship could have just gone well out of the window with this one.
Yeah, he's got his brother alongside him, and wow, his brother's going to do what a little brother normally does.
Okay, I shall make my way back into the lobby if it'll let me.
Yeah, if little brother's going to do what a little brother normally does, then I think Konzo is going to want to throw him out the house.
Quite possibly. What about the drivers outside the top 10? What sort of tyres have we got those drivers on?
Every single one is on either the soft or medium. 2 of them on mediums, which is the OG Dragon and Farfo, the rest on the softs.
Well, that is going to be very interesting. You also mentioned about Valdemar qualifying in third place on the soft compound tyre, which he has done, but also his teammate making his debut, SBL Mali Kekec, who I think somehow has managed to sneak ahead of Caribbean Crush on this formation lap. SBL Mali Kekec, also on his first permanent drive, is in second place. So, interestingly enough, we've got 3 drivers that are either in the World Series reserves or have progressed from the World Series reserves into the World Series, and they're right up there at the sort of the mean end of the grid. However, we would have expected obviously Mystic Joker up there as well, Konzo to be up there, Hindle to be up there, and potentially even Calzo to be up there with the time difference between Konzo and Calzo. But here we go then, as we get ready for the start of the front row racing. World Series Round 11 from Hungary. We've got a 35 lap long race, and it could be an absolutely frantic one. The lights are coming on. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away they go. The Renault in second place, though, hasn't moved. Oh, that's caused a major drama. You know what, I'm going to call a safety car restart on that one, I think. Unfortunately, that guy's sorry, but I'm going to call a restart on that one. A car not moving on the grid at all. And a massive pile-up. That is absolutely disastrous.
Yeah, I think all cars involved, apart from Jason, had thermal damage there, so 3-4 cars.
Yeah, so bear with us a few moments, folks. It's not very often we would call a restart like that, but that was an absolutely massive crash, which has just sort of destroyed everything for drivers at the start there. So I'll probably get moaned at and complained at for it, but you're just going to have to bear with us for that one. Like I say, it's not very often that we would call something like that, but with the amount of cars involved straight away there, with the car not moving, I would only hope that was a delayed start on that Renault driver and not an error. If it was an error, that's a major problem. If it was a fault with the game, with the lights or something like that, then fair enough. But that did cause a massive crash there at the start. So, okay, Temp, if you can, obviously you both now need to jump out of the lobby. Temp, if you jump into the multiplayer championship again, and Tony, if you can jump in there as soon as possible. If you can both send me invites as well, and then send invites out to the drivers. But the drivers should be able to automatically join anyway. And I won't be able to join until the formation lap is underway. which is going to be a little frustrating because it means I'm going to have to sit here for a few moments. And it may be a little bit frustrating for the drivers that situation has occurred. As I said, it's not very often that we would call a stop on a race start like that. I will take this moment, though, to go through the rest of the drivers' pre-race comments. As I mentioned, there is a few, or at least there is definitely one that is going to be tricky. Okay, I'm going to do the New Age Outlaws Red Bull Rickster. I said to him, back from your jollies, how's the tan lines? He said, such a bad track for tyre wear, and I'm not amazing with tyre wear, as it is so, this is such a hard track. He may go safe with the option tyres. Not expecting amazing things out of this one, but we'll see where I am at the end of the race. He also said, my tan lines are great, but my tan used to be a burn. My arms look like two of those squashy sweets that are red and white. I do feel for you, Rickster. The OG Dragon reserving for MX Everglow. I asked him, as a reserve, how are you approaching this event, or is there a driver you're aiming to beat in this race? I also asked him about what tyres he was bringing, and he decided to be a little bit cheeky, saying that he's bringing Pirelli tyres, and as a reserve for the Red Bull team, I'm aiming to replicate my reserves race and get no penalties, and I'm not aiming to beat any driver, I'm just aiming for a good finish. Okay, Valdemar. Pre-race comments, obviously taking a new permanent seat. I said there's been a big change in team and division for you. Will we see anything new from yourself? He said he's not sure if he'll do the same strategy as he did in the reserves race. The division has changed a lot, and I will make sure I keep on pushing myself to the limit. And I think that me and Mally will do a great job for the remainder of the season. And qualifying second and third, they've done quite well there. SBL Mali Kekech, I asked him exactly the same question, and he said, new? Well, you will definitely see me in a new car and maybe some teamwork with Valdemar. That's about all he had to say. Okay, guys, how are we for the drivers getting back into the lobby?
Well, we've got most of them, just waiting for the last few stragglers.
Okay, no problem. Right, anyone that's watching on YouTube, obviously you will have to bear with us a few moments as we get the drivers back into the lobby for the restart. It will be a normal start to the race with the drivers in their qualifying positions. So it'll be a normal start. Those drivers that qualified in the top 10 will be on their qualifying tyre. Those drivers outside the top 10, they're still free to select any tyre that they wish. And there's only one driver's pre-race comments left, and you know what? I don't know if I really want to do this in terms of giggling, because
you get a racer to do it.
No chance. No, please, no. I'm going to have to take a quick drink and get ready for this one.
They know how I feel.
Yeah. Okay, if you're a regular viewer, you'll know who this question of the day.
Just say it. Don't even say which driver.
Can anybody guess who gave this response? He was asked best result of the season last time out. Can you match it in Hungary? Seretnem Kivana Akivansag Seretni Kivana Diha Seretni Hogi Kivansag Abozorkani Akar NM Seretennek Akavinsag Seretni Kivani Hasivensi Leniogoso Sarkanyokat Es Ravans Mutatanvonaikat Ves Egi Ravas Lenigo Oso Stuntkite. Yeah, I think we all know.
Sorry if someone is watching from Hungary.
Yeah, definitely. Don't blame me. And for anyone that doesn't know, I'm sure someone on YouTube can tell you exactly who gave the answer. The annoying thing is that the translation is just as difficult to say.
Yeah, don't fall into the trap he's trying to make.
I think we have everyone.
Okay, if you have everybody, make sure you send me an invite, please, guys. If you have everybody in the lobby, send them to the circuit. And I'm going to try this, and if I get it wrong, there's a good chance I'm going to get fired. Okay, so here was his pre-race comments. I would like to wish, you wish, to wish, the wish, but if you want the wish, the witch wants. I do not wish to wish the wish you wish. If you enjoy stunning kites and cunning stunts, buy a cunning stunt. by a cunning, stunning stunt kite. I got it right. It took us a moment, but I got it right, and I didn't say it wrong. For a Racing GP, you are banned from sending pre-race comments.
I was going to say, he's an admin and he's sending those in.
Well, he was expecting me to make you say that one, so I've saved you the risk. Okay, guys, if you can let me know when okay, guys, if you can let me know where the formation lap is underway, and I will try and get back into the lobby. And for someone saying change, someone's saying change weather to clear. It should automatically save the weather from the previous event. So yeah, is the formation lap about to go?
We're just about to be sitting on the grid waiting for them to press go. I'll tell you when.
Okay, no problem. Okay, 35 lap race. Temp, you had a bit of insight yesterday. With hindsight, would you go one stop? Would you go two stop?
Well, I was planning to do one stop anyway.
Sorry, I just need to interrupt a second. On YouTube, guys, if any of the drivers are watching on YouTube, this is not a safety car restart. This is a normal start to a race. You will all be in your grid positions, so when the green lights go, you race. Okay? Just to make that perfectly clear. You won't be able to change your tyre type, or you shouldn't be able to if you're in the top 10. Sorry, Temp, to cut you off there, but yeah, you can carry on.
Yeah, I was going to do a one stop anyway, and with these guys being able to see the race yesterday, I think, like I say, anyone outside that top 10 will probably most likely try the one stop. People on super softs, unfortunately, won't be able to do the one stop though, so they have to be a bit more aggressive, and if they get a bit of clear track, it could actually work out in their favour.
Okay, is the formation lap going?
We are just waiting for the lights to go out, and we're now on the way.
Okay, I shall now try to rejoin. Let's see how this goes. So as they get their formation lap underway, hopefully we won't have the same issue on the start grid. But it is an annoying feature on Codemasters on occasion that people get a delay start to the lights. I mean, there is a rule in place in front row racing that if you do have a delayed light system, you are allowed to go. As long as you don't do a jump start, like go before everybody else. You are allowed to go when everybody else goes. And if you do get a jump start penalty and you can show that you've got delayed lights, you serve your drive-through penalty and you can claim it back after the race. So as the drivers make their way round then on the formation lap, Caribbean Crush, pole position here in Hungary. On the super soft tyre, he's going to need to try and just rush away at the front, open up a gap to try and find a gap to feed back into. Anybody on the soft compound tyre, they just need to stay as close as they can to drivers on the softest and wait for them to pit, get out of the way, and then go as fast as they can. This circuit, clear track, is absolutely valuable. It's more valuable than money, to be honest. It can make such a difference to how your race goes.
This restart has provided people change their strategies. We have now 3 drivers with the medium tires.
Interesting. So 3 drivers outside the top 10 on the medium tyres, and you say, as you said, it has given the opportunity. They'll have seen what other drivers went for on the previous start. It's given them the opportunity to go, you know what, I might match them then, or I'm going to switch. People might not agree with that, but it's what's happened. So we'll see how we'll get on here then. So as Caribbean Crush lines up at pole position, we will try and get 35 laps underway. So apologies again for calling a restart on that. I think it's probably the first time in a very, very long time, I'm talking a couple of seasons, that we've called a restart in that kind of sense. So we get on board with Caribbean Crush once again as we're on 4 lights, 5 lights. And away they go, and they do get away this time. It looks like Caribbean Crush has had a pretty decent start. Renault's in 2nd and 3rd, and Caribbean Crush has had a decent start. Williams in 3rd, 4th place, trying to sneak in between the Renaults. That gap's going to close, though. One of the Renaults very, very sideways. A little bit further down the order, it's getting very, very busy. And one of the Mercedes is Calzo. He's got himself into 5th place, but where's Conzo? I'm not seeing him. He might be in 10th place, you know. He's quite far down the order. So as they head up to turn 4 then, Caribbean Crush leading the way. Oh, we've got a car off. We've got a Red Bull off in the background. I don't know if that was Rickster or the OG Dragon. Bleeding Sunrise. We saw him sideways in qualifying. He was sideways again around turn 5. So as the drivers settle down, hopefully into a little bit of an order here. We've got a bit of a train up at the front. 2 Renaults, Williams, Mercedes, Toro Rosso, Williams. And then just behind we've got Farfber, who qualified in 15th place. He's already up to 11th on a set of the medium compound tyres. Gonk behind him, and then Front Row Racing GP also on the medium tyres. GP looking for the move up the inside into turn 12. Gonk gives him the room, but behind there's contact. Red Bull and Toro Rosso. Let's see what's happening up at the front as my co-commentators acclimatise themselves with their cameras and they can let me know what they're seeing. So Caribbean Crush does complete the first lap in the lead with both Renaults behind him.
Baltimore was very close behind him as we got RDB making a move on Rickster, I believe, in 14th. Trying to go up the inside. I think Rickster managed to hang around the outside though on those grippier type. Oh no, RDB's on the super softs actually. Rickster on the softs, just behind GP.
Yeah.
Held up quick to us.
You're right, RDB is on the hard compound tyre. GP's gone wide and that's contact. I'm wondering if GP's got damage on his car already, perhaps from something we didn't see, but around he goes. Let's see, Mr. Loki, he's in the Williams in 4th place at the moment on the soft compound tyre, following one guy that's got the same tyres as him and 2 guys that are on the super softs as well. And Caribbean Crush still leading the way. And Tony, what have you got your eyes on?
Just watching the front racing.
Okay, you keep an eye on that. Just going to have a quick look at Milstar. Thinking about it though, I think Valdemar, he's close. He's really close on this occasion. And he has jumped his teammate as well. So we've actually got Caribbean Crush in the lead on super softs. Valdemar on the soft compound tyre, going for the move of the inside into turn 1. Is he going to be able to take the lead? Side by side they go, but Caribbean Crush on the faster tyre got the inside line for turn 2 now. Late brakes, or possibly gives Valdemar a little bit of a nudge there. And here comes SPL Mali Kekec, but you know what? Nice bit of driving by him there. Saw what happened, backed out of it a little bit, and has a bit of a wiggle on the exit of turn 3. But I tell you what, Valdemar looking very, very confident on the soft compound tyre, and if he's able now with DRS on this next lap to have another go into turn 1, I think he's got more chance of making that move stick. Mr. Loki's beginning to come under a little bit of pressure though in 4th place from Calzo in 5th place behind him.
Yeah, speaking like that, Conzo's still in 8th, very qualified, and he's got quite a few drivers ahead of him on the soft tyres, so he's got a bit of work to do. I think he probably the most finished driver out there right now.
I think you could be very, very right. Back to Valdemar. He's still close to the back of Caribbean Crush. Obviously, quite often people ask, is it better to be the hunter or be the hunted? I personally like to be the hunter, and Valdemar is exactly that. Here we go then, DRS. Caribbean Crush going defensive, and Valdemar is going to have to try all the way around the outside, but Caribbean Crush not making it easy for him. Valdemar trying to squeeze him. It hasn't worked. He was there. And Valdemar...
And here comes Mali Kekec.
Yep, Mali Kekec sneaks through then. This is now his potential opportunity. Has a look up the inside as Mr. Loki has a look at Valdemar. You know what, I think if Valdemar had just stayed well left towards down to turn 1, I think he'd have made the move a lot easier. But because he went for a bit of a squeeze, it didn't work. But Valdemar's got back ahead of Mali Kekec. So I don't know whether that's...
Mali Kekec led him through.
So... a bit of team tactics going on then between SPL Mali Kekec and Valdemar, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Mali Kekec saying, no, go for it, get him, you're quicker than me. But Valdemar, he needs to make that move, because what's happening behind them is Mr. Loki's being held up a little bit, but not only that, you've got Calzo, Milstar and everybody else catching up to this leading group.
Top 8 seems to be breaking away a bit, but the highest running medium than that is Farfber in 11th, with 2 Ferraris ahead of him, both on up, David Harp on softs and Jason on super soft.
Okay, I think we may be in course for a few potential overtakes down and heading towards turn 1 now. Valdemar is having another go. DRS, is he going to stay well left on this occasion? Up to turn 1, and he's squeezing him again. It's not worked the first time. Is he going to work the second time? It does just. Forceful, aggressive driving, but if he's given him enough room, it'll work. Mr. Loki trying to go around the outside of SPL Mali Kekec, trying to get himself into third place on the soft compound tyre. Mali Kekec trying to fight it, but Loki's got the position. But saying that, here's Calzo in the background trying to fight on him as well now on the back of Mali Kekec, and right behind him is Millstar and Bleeding Sunrise. You're about to say something then, Temp, and I cut you off, so come on, what have you got for us?
I don't know about Calzo, I said look at Calzo as well. But I think we may see some of these super soft runners pit this lap. So,
oh, Mali Kekec, he's off. That's going to be a few more positions lost. It's 4 positions lost. That's massively frustrating for him, but that's freed up a little bit of air for Calzo. So Valdemar now leading this race, and I think you're right, Tem. We could see any of the super soft runners pit at this point, but if they haven't got clear track to drop into, it could be rather dangerous to try it. Let's see if Caribbean Crush is going to be able to attack back. Keep an eye on whether any of the super soft runners do jump into the pits.
Pits.
Okay, Valdemar's managed to fend off Caribbean Crush into turn 1. Mr. Loki, he's there, he's sniffing. He knows there's an opportunity on this. But this is where Valdemar, to a degree, he doesn't need to pull away, but it is beneficial to him if he's able to. If Caribbean Crush's tyres are going to start going off, he needs to open up that gap.
Malika Heck has come out in 16th, quite a set of mediums, and he's got no one anywhere near him, so he's at least got some free air.
Okay. Right, let's see. So, Valdemar, Caribbean Crush, Mr. Loki, Calzo, 4th. And I tell you what, his teammate, his brother teammate's not far behind. We've got Calzo, Millstar, Bleeding Sunrise. And then Konzo in 8th place, I believe, 7th place now, sorry. And then a bit of a gap to Dave the Harp, both Ferraris, Dave the Harp and Jason. I'm going to get back up to the front though, because I won't be surprised if we see some action again, either into the pits or down to turn 1. Caribbean Crush goes for the pits. So it's going to be crucial what tyres he goes for, but he's pretty much sacrificed onto a 2-stop strategy unless he can make mediums last 29 laps. Looking at Millstar coming under pressure from Bleeding Sunrise now. DRS for Bleeding Sunrise. No DRS for Millstar. Bumping wheels a little bit towards turn 1. And the Mercedes and Konzo following these guys. He'll be hoping he gets a bit of room. And he's had to back out of it a little bit as they still fight side by side into turn 3. Turn 2 even. My apologies.
Just watching Front Race and GP go for the final corner. It's still a very, very tight line, even getting on the grass on the inside of the final corner.
Interesting. I wonder if
is that Caribbean Crush who's come out just ahead of him? Yeah, Caribbean Crush come out just ahead of 2 Red Bulls and Front Race and GP on the soft tyres. Had to defend a little bit.
So if GP's on the soft tyres, then
GP's on mediums.
Alright, okay, so GP hasn't made a pit stop then, so Caribbean Crush has gone for a set of the soft compound tyre. Let's see, Mali Kekec, he's second to last at the moment, I believe. I could be wrong on that. But after his brilliant start, it looks like he's suffering a little bit now.
Yeah, I think after he had that little off moment, I think he really dropped off the back of those top 8 and then just that last sector alone. Unless he had a stop-go penalty neutral level.
Okay, looking at this now, Mr. Loki, is he going to be within DRS range? No, he's just outside the 1 second, but Calzo is just within it. So Calzo in 3rd position now. Obviously hasn't made a pit stop yet, but is in a fantastic position to try and catch and attack Mr. Loki. Well, this race, it's going to, I think it's going to go through a phase where as drivers pit, the field's going to get spread out, but they could all bunch up again later on. We'll have to wait and see, but Valdemar, he's showing he's got skills at the moment leading this race.
Ooh, Gronk's come around turn 2. Caribbean grabbing the outside of him, and he's just slid into him, and he's still staying. And now he's moving. Playing it safe, not trying to join the track in front of anyone.
I wonder if he's got a bit of damage on that car. It didn't look like it wanted to turn for him. I see RDB is right behind him on track as well as he recovers. And 69, he's down in 17th at the moment. But I tell you what, the battle up at the front, it's hotting up again. Mr. Loki's closed that gap in. I think he'll definitely be within DRS range on this occasion. But Tem, the soft tyre, how long did it last? Don't worry about it. Valdemar's in the pits.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, what was also interesting was that Calzo was within DRS range of Mr. Loki, and he still is. If you keep us updated on what tyres Valdemar goes for, I mean, medium set of tyres, could he get to the end from this point?
Ooh. Or what, 27 laps? No. I'm going to say no straight up. Don't want to be doing no more than 22, really. I mean, anything near the 20s in there, horrible, a bit slow, so...
Well, it looks like we've had a number of pit stops done now as well. I'm just having a quick look at Farfba, who's in 6th place, hasn't stopped yet, and I'm looking at him because Caribbean Crush, who pitted a few laps ago from the super soft tyre, is right behind him, and Caribbean Crush on the soft compound tyre now. Valdemar has come out quite some way behind Caribbean Crush. It's only one position, but it's a few seconds. So this is, interestingly enough, Caribbean Crush was able to get a nice little undercut, but now he's being held up, and here comes Valdemar closing in on that gap. If one of you guys, though, could keep an eye on Calzo up at the front and let me know if he's going to be catching Mr. Loki or potentially attacking, because I want to just see what Caribbean Crush is going to do while Valdemar closes the gap on him.
Calzo is in DRS, but I don't think he's close enough to make a move unless he can get out of the brakes. No, staying behind, trying in for turn 2.
Okay, Valdemar's looking feisty here. He had a sneaky look up into the inside of the final corner. It's not worked for him though, but side by side, he and Caribbean Crush are. They both got DRS. Caribbean Crush had to move across and just about stays ahead, and they're both off the camera to the side of Farfba there. Apologies for that. But Caribbean Crush has managed to get ahead into 6th place by the looks of it, and Valdemar gets ahead into 7th place. Valdemar trying to attack, and it hasn't worked. He's caught the back of Caribbean Crush, and as you can tell, he's no longer on the screen. He's having to recover, and he's losing positions left, right and centre, and he's now right behind his teammate and right ahead of his teammate and right behind Front Row Racing GP, who is battling with Rickster.
Yeah, Calzo had to spend this lap behind Mr. Loki, just get a bit of a room steer through that corner, but I will put in if he is close to turn 1 or a bit.
Well, have you noticed the little pattern we've got going on with the leading 4 cars?
Where is that? Oh, Williams Mercedes.
Williams Mercedes.
Bleeding Sunrise pits, I think. Yeah, Bleeding Sunrise in the pits.
Okay, so Bleeding Sunrise pitting from 3rd place then. I'm keeping an eye on Rickster here at the moment because there's quite a train of cars behind him. GP, Valdemar, Mali Kekec and the OG Dragon are there as well, I believe. And Rickster heads into the pits. Oh, Voldemort! He's spun around again.
Voldemort?
Yeah, Voldemort is having a mare. Harry Potter has come and cast a spell on him because he's facing the wrong direction. Not what he wants. Not what he wants at all. I don't know what happened to him there. I just saw that as his teammate SPL Mali Kekec went into the final corner, Valdemar was facing the wrong way. Mr. Loki still leading this race, but Calzo's closed that gap in on him. He's right behind him.
And speaking of Mali Kekec, you said a few laps ago that he was second to last. Now he's in 9th place, climbing back up.
Yeah, pit stops can have a massive effect on the order of this race. I mean, strategy calls can be crucial. Traffic can be crucial. Okay, I'll keep an eye on the lead. You may have to keep an eye on some of the battles further behind and let me know about them. But we do now have Mr. Loki heading around the final corner. Calzo right behind him. Konzo not that far behind them. But can Calzo get a good enough exit out of the final corner to attack? Yes, he's close enough. DRS, it'll pop open. And here he goes. Loki going defensive already. And then back to the racing line, showing Calzo the inside if he wants it, but he decides no, he doesn't. He's going to have a look on the exit, is he? DRS is open, but he's not close enough to attack to turn 2.
Leading Sunrise after pit stops, Mike just behind Farfar, trying to make a DRS lead down the pit straight. Up into the 50 goes, and someone can pitch there. Let's see who it is.
Yeah, up to 5th it is, and Farfar, I think, is attacking back on him. No, he's not been able to do it. Caribbean Crush in 4th place has opened a little bit of a gap, and Valdemar, he's on the back of this little train we're watching here, I believe. I could be wrong. I think that's him. No, it's not. He's much further back. It's SBL Mali Kekec. Apologies for that. So Mali Kekec on the back of this little 4-car train. I'm going to have to jump back to the front, though. Oh, Calzo and Mr. Loki, they're side by side, and Calzo's got ahead through Sector 2. I don't know if Mr. Loki had a mare of a middle sector or Calzo's had a screamer, but he's managed to get ahead. He's going to be attacked with a DRS opened Williams down the start-finish unless either of them pit here. But Calzo, he's actually going for it. Apologies for missing the move there, but I was not expecting him to go for one in the middle sector, but Mr. Loki is close enough to attack. Calzo going defensive straight away. He's going to have to be careful. Choose where you're going to put your car and put it there, as Loki now going to go round the outside, or at least try it. Is he going to try to switch back? No, he's just going to try and drive all the way around the outside. Gets a little sideways. That may have caused Calzo to have a little bit of a lift off. But that's Mr. Loki back into the lead. Guys, if you want to just take over for a moment, because I need to grab myself a drink.
I'm not quite surprised that Loki managed to overtake him. He's showing some good straight line speed when defending against Calzo, so Calzo had to make the move in the middle sector somewhere. It'll be a bit different, but Loki's some straight up pass. But what he's done about that, this SPL Mali Kekec just made 2 positions in the sector pretty much, taking front racing TP and Farfar in the last sector and turn 1, into 6th. And I was going to mention that it was David Harper pitted. Him and his teammate can't be separated, so I think Arazor's going to have fun watching Jason and David Harper out.
No, I haven't watched that. No, I haven't watched that. But I was thinking about Calzo and Konzo are pretty close together, and or nothing more, as I said. As I said, but still they're pretty close together, and it's lap 13 now. Soon 14, and they must have thinking about the pitting soon, and they are so close together. They have to do it right and not stuck in the pit.
That's a good point.
It is. I mean, Calzo, you could say, should have first call of when he wants to pit, given the opportunity of undercutting Mr. Loki, taking a lead and gaining time. But I think what's going to be vital for them is what the gap is to cars behind them. Calzo getting a little bit sideways. Now, you mentioned as well that Mr. Loki has got decent straight line speed, and that might be why Calzo's had an opportunity through Sector 2 to attack, because if you've got a slightly lower wing, here we go, Calzo having another look as Loki struggling around turn 5. Yeah, if you've got a slightly lower wing around this track, it is Sector 2 that's going to hurt you. And that's where Calzo may be able to gain and gain and gain on each occasion. But every time these two fight, it's going to help Konzo close that gap. But also something to keep an eye on is, what is the gap between Konzo and Caribbean Crush?
I'm not sure on that, but if Calzo and Loki was clear right now, they've come out around the area of FPL Mali Kekec and Bleeding Sunrise, I believe.
So it would be okay, it'd be very, very interesting. But Calzo's got an opportunity here once again down the start finish. He's had a good exit around the final corner. DRS is open, but so Konzo's gone for the pit stop as Calzo. He's now going to try around the outside into turn 1. Well, Mr. Loki's got good traction out of the corners. He's also got a good straight line speed, but Calzo, had to take almost evasive there with a wing open while he was trying to have a look. The hold position they do at the moment. I would jump off these, but if Mr. Loki struggles in turn 5 again, I think Calzo may jump at the opportunity of taking the position. I mean, turn 6, it's not a corner you really want to overtake on, but if the opportunity presents itself, you kind of have to go for it.
Gonzo put mediums on, so he must think one step for him.
Yeah, I'm thinking Konzo. Oh, Mr. Loki nearly lost it on the exit of, I think, turn 9, that is. Yeah, totally sideways, nearly lost it. That gives Calzo half an opportunity. I just want to have a quick look at where Konzo is. Yeah, pits from 3rd, he's down in 11th.
I mean, and looking at the gap he was behind Calzo and Mr. Loki, that's roughly the area of
both pit. Sorry, Temp, both pit. Loki and Calzo both into the pits, which means that they're going to come out a little bit up the road from where Konzo is at the moment. I would guess that both these guys are going to go for medium tyres. Caribbean Crush, where are you? He's already around the final corner. He's going to take the lead, but he's going to have another pit stop to do. Calzo, he's on the move. He's jumped him in the pits. We've seen that before somewhere. A Mercedes overtaking a Williams in the pit lane. I can't remember where. Do you, Temp?
No, because he wasn't in the Williams.
Oh, sorry, just behind these guys we've got McLaren. I think that's GP overtaking Farfba into turn 1, and these guys are right behind the 2 drivers that were leading this race. Farfba attacking back as well.
Farfba just made another take on the OG Dragon, but on that outlap as well, he did run a bit wide on the grass. But now going for a move on Millstars around the outside of turn 2. Brilliant move. Easy.
Okay, so Konzo making moves, but Farfba and GP, they've also been making moves, and Valdemar is on the back of Farfba now. We may have to have a look and see how many times Valdemar has pitted. I'm not sure if it's once or whether he's gone for a second stop. I've got a feeling it might just be the once. Quick look at Konzo. He's in 9th place at the moment, having recently got past the OG Dragon and Millstar, as TempFear mentioned.
Quickly on front race of GP, he's overtaken Farfba to be the leading medium tyre who started on them. Didn't see that, but yeah, GP's moving up.
Oh, SBL Malikakech, he's in 2nd place, and he's got the Williams of Bleeding Sunrise right behind him in 3rd. Oh, Bleeding Sunrise, he was so wide, he was almost in Brazil. And I think just behind them, Calzo, it was a ghosted car who was negotiating. So Calzo and Mr. Loki, they're 4th and 5th at the moment. I think SBL Malikekech is going to have another pit stop to do. So is Caribbean Crush. So 1st and 2nd, possibly another pit stop. Bleeding Sunrise, I'm not sure. Tony, could you have a look at when Bleeding Sunrise made his pit stop and see if he may be able to go to the end? Calzo, as we know, is in 4th place. Mr. Loki is in 5th place. And then we've got from a racing... Sorry, say again, Tony?
That is lap 10 when Bleeding Sunrise did it.
Okay, lap 10, so 25 laps. Yeah, probably needs another pit stop. Let's see, GP in 6th place. Farfba 7th behind him. And then we've got Valdemar in 8th. Konzo's trying to close in the gap to these guys, and as they battle he's going to be able to do that, and potentially quite quickly, but he's going to need these guys to get out of the way quickly, but that is just not going to happen around this track.
He's dropped off the back of his teammate as well. He's around 8 seconds behind now. Over 4 pit stops, it was roughly about 3.
Well, let's see, Calzo's 7.5 seconds off the lead and potentially about to lose a position to Mr. Loki, and I think Konzo's about 14 seconds off the lead. Here we go then. 16. Okay, so yeah, you're about right, but here comes Mr. Loki on the back of Calzo, and just ahead of them, they're getting ever so close on entry and exit. Calzo's going to have to fight this one on the inside of turn 2. Side by side they go. And there's a little bit of touching, but Calzo fends him off quite nicely, and he needs to make Sector 2 work for him. Open up that gap if he can, because Mr. Loki is on a charge.
if he can get into the RS range of SPL Malikekek or Building Sunrise, then it might help him defend as well.
It definitely would. It definitely would. And Bleeding Sunrise a little bit sideways again, and that's going to help Calzo close that gap in.
We have an update on a medium race. Falkbach is currently leading GP for that race.
Panzer's behind, runners haven't pitted yet. Doesn't seem to be as comfortable as what I've seen him in previous races.
Okay.
I really thought he could take it easy with his teammate not being here.
Quite possibly. It's something to... SPL Malikekek may be losing a position. Caribbean Crush is in the pits. So SPL Malikekek takes the lead of this race, but Bleeding Sunrise is going to try and take it off him. And in the background, Mr. Loki is trying to get past Calzo. Let's see. He's managed it. He's got ahead into turn 1. SPL Malikekek and Bleeding Sunrise side by side into turn 2. This is the fight for the lead. And it's still not over, off they go, contact, spinning, around they go, front wing gone for SPL Malikekek, front wing gone for Bleeding Sunrise. Calzo, he's in second place, I think he managed to avoid it. Mr. Loki's taken the lead. Oh my days, that's unlucky for both drivers there. They're going to have a long, slow run to the pits now, and they're going to have to be very, very careful trying to get there as well. Oh, disaster for the drivers. And Farfber's going to have to be careful. He's got Conzo right behind him. He's got 2 cars ahead of him that he's managed to negotiate one without a front wing, but the Williams right ahead of him has no front wing. That's Bleeding Sunrise. He's going to have to be careful of that car because it's not going to want to slow down. You see the Renault in the background struggling through turn 11. This is giving Conzo a good opportunity to attack here. Let's have a quick look at Calzo. Is he close enough to attack? He's looking at it. Mr. Loki goes defensive again, but I don't think Calzo's got quite enough top speed, but round the outside he's going to have to try. Keeping it nice and tight. But this is where Loki tends to get a good exit. Calzo still in second place, and yeah, Loki getting a fantastic exit.
We have a busy pit lane now, 4 cars in the pits.
Yeah, Farfber is one of them, GP another, so drivers that started on the medium have now got rid of them. Soft tyres going on, Renault, Williams, they'll be in the pits as well. Farfber, has he gone for soft tyres? Yes, he has. So we've got 3 cars there, they're going to battle it to the end by the looks of things. Well, 20 laps into this race, and what a cracker it's been so far. We're not been able to see all of the action that's happening everywhere, but that's because we've had a battle for the lead all the way through. Tony, Temp, can you update us of anything that is happening, where people are in positions or anything like that? Any battles going on at the moment?
You was on about those 3 cars from the pits. Actually, all 4 of them came out on a set of soft tyres, but I do expect Bleeding Sunrise and Malikekek was involved to pull away from Farfber and GP.
Okay,
just a quick mention on Ant as well, still down in 17th. Don't know exactly what happened to Ant, but I do feel sorry for him. It's been a bit of a boring race for him.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe something happened on that opening lap that we didn't spot. Calzo's dropped off a little bit from Mr. Loki. Valdemar all on his own in 3rd place. Conzo, he's all on his own in 4th place, but he'll be looking to go all the way to the end. Whether he's going to be able to catch up to Valdemar or not, I don't know. Valdemar may still have a pit stop to make. Caribbean Crush, he's led this race on a couple of occasions. He's now in 5th place. He doesn't have to stop again, and interestingly, he pitted a few laps ago. He had to go for the mediums. He went soft. He had no choice but use the mediums, because I don't think the super softs would have got to the end. So he's going to now have 14 laps to see where he can get to. The problem is the car ahead of him there, Conzo, he's going all the way to the end on mediums, just like he is. The only advantage for Caribbean Crush is that he may be able to push him a lot harder. Dave the Harp.
Those mediums are quite a nice tyre though, across 15 laps.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he can push him to a degree as hard as he likes. Dave the Harp sitting in 6th place. Got Rickster behind him, and Jason, the other Ferrari driver, behind him. We'll have a look at him in a moment. Tony, you got any information for us?
No, nothing to report this time.
I'll tell you what I've got to report. RDB in 9th place with the OG Dragon right behind him. Farfba right behind him, and Farfba going for the move on the OG Dragon. Is he into turn 12? He's having a look. Squeezed a little bit and around he goes, and that's allowed Bleeding Sunrise through. That's unfortunate for Farfba, but down he goes. GP's battling with SBL Mali Kekech there on the soft compound tyre. I'm wondering if the OG Dragon's got a car behind him. Yes, he has Bleeding Sunrise, but they both got DRS, unusually. And in the background, there's a McLaren fighting a Renault, I think.
That is GP and Malikekech. Turn up the inside of GP. Really easy move.
Yep, so SBL Mali Kekech makes that move. Quick look back at the front. Mr. Loki leading the way, opened up a gap now on Calzo in second place.
Calzo was right behind him, but then he clipped the grass and fall off the back.
So that's why he's
Mr. Loki.
Yeah, that's why he's lost a little bit of ground then. Valdemar sitting in third place. What's the gap between him and Konzo? It's 4 seconds. But I tell you what, Caribbean Crush, he's closed that gap down between himself and Konzo to just under 2 seconds. Caribbean Crush is on a charge. I don't think he's going to be able to get near the lead of this race, but he may be able to get near the podium.
I'll have a look and see what sort of lap times he's doing in comparison to others.
Okay, I'm just having a quick look at this battle, sort of 9th, 10th, which is Bleeding Sunrise, the OG Dragon, Farfba, and SBL Mali Kekech, is it? Yeah, SBL Mali Kekech, he's on a bit of a charge as well. Got some pace in him at the moment, but you'd expect that. Always having a look up the inside, it's not going to work for him, no, backs out of that one. Well, what an interesting race to try and keep an eye on. This is one of the reasons why we could do with the timing tower on the side of the screen, so we could let everybody know at every point where everybody is, but unfortunately we don't have access to that. But yeah, battles all over the place at the moment, and battles brewing. Because I think Caribbean Crush, if he can stay on this charge, he's going to have to, well, Konzo is going to keep him honest.
The lap times are all similar between the third, fourth and fifth. They're not too much difference.
Tell you what, Calzo, he's been able to close that gap in up at the front again. Sometimes around this track, having a little bit of space between yourself and a car ahead can give you a good opportunity to cool the tyres, compose yourself,
Action.
push again. Go on.
Action happening in the OG Dragon train.
Okay,
It's,
Temp, keep an eye on the
fighting
lead.
there.
Go on, Tony, talk us through it.
Well, we are going to have 2 cars with the DRS soon, and this is going to be interesting. Turn 1. There goes Farfba and Malikekech, both
Yep.
in the same door opening.
Yep, nice move by the both of them, and the OG Dragon not fighting it too hard. Realised they were getting ahead and let them go. Mali Kekech, he's pushing as hard as he can. Farfba runs a little bit wide, opens the door a little bit, but Mali Kekech, after that crash earlier on, he's going to be very careful through turn 3 for the rest of the race, I reckon. The rest of the race only being 11 laps long now, as we're on lap 24 of 35. Have we got anything happening up at the front between Mr. Loki and Calzo?
Yeah, he's the same as what I've seen before every lap. Calzo's a lot stronger for that little sector. I think he's got a better front end, but then into the pit straight and in with the RS slipstream doesn't really gain on Loki. He's close to turn 1 saying that, may have run into turn 2. No, Loki's got a better traction.
Yes, I mean,
This train is coming back to the main straight, and this time GP is pretty close to them, eager to join the battle.
He is. I mean, it can help so much being able to get within DRS range around this track as well. As SPL Mali Kakec, he's going to have an opportunity here on Farfba. DRS open. The OG Dragon behind with DRS open as well. As Mali Kakec trying up the inside into turn 1. Is he going to be able to slow it down? No, he's not. He's gone deep. That's going to allow Farfba to keep hold of the position. Is it going to give the OG Dragon an opportunity? No, it's not. But Farfba, yeah, retakes that place.
Conzo had another little look into turn 6 on Mr. Loki. He, I'd say, does seem to get a much better run through turn 5, but turn 6 is again not really a place for the overtaking car.
No, it's a big risk overtaking into turn 6, the corner that these guys are coming up to now. And like I say, the only time you really want to go for it is if you're pretty much side by side on the exit at turn 5. And I'm pretty sure the SPL Mali Kakec has got a little bit of a run on Farfba here. Yes, he has. Farfba out of position. Can Mali Kakec attack now? But again, these aren't corners that it's easy to overtake on. Mali Kakec may get an opportunity down into turn 12, and the OG Dragon is right there to be able to press. Here he goes, having a look at turn 12, but backs out of it. And these guys battling is allowing GP from a racing GP to close in on this battle. And if he gets that DRS wing open, or side by side we go into the final corner. And Mali Kakec, it's going to be more than interesting. Here we go then. What's going to happen? Make your predictions. You've got about a second. Disaster. The other Renault's in the pits. Let's see. Side by side then. Force India, Renault. Farfba holding the position. The OG Dragon under pressure behind. GP trying to make a move. Is he? No, he's not. The OG Dragon got a run on SPL Mali Kakec here, but no, the door is closed. And guess who's joined into the battle? The Renault that was in the pits. So now this is becoming a 5-car battle. But I want to just have a quick look as well at Caribbean Crush. Looks like he's dropped off the back of Conzo. The Conzo's pulled away from him, should I say. Calzo on the back of Mr. Loki. Is he going to be able to attack down into turn 1? I'm not so sure, but I'll keep an eye on this battle for a moment. See what happens at turn 1, and then we'll jump back to that train of cars. Tony, if you could have a look at what's happening between 5th, 6th and 7th. There's Calzo having a look up the inside, but he's not quite able to do it. He's going to have to hold position for another lap, frustratingly for him. So let's have a look.
Sandro has trying to overtake Jason.
Okay, quick look at that then. Yeah, Bleeding Sunrise around the outside. That's for 6th place. It's a nice move. Tony, keep an eye on that. Jason may be able to attack back. But this battle that's happening slightly behind them, Farfba, Mali Kakec, the OG Dragon may all be about to switch around. About to start lap 27. We've got a Ferrari in the pits as well. That may be Dave the Harp. Here we go then. Mali Kakec having a look. And behind we've got Renault on McLaren. As Renault takes one position, the other takes another. But GP's gone for a switch back to defend. Both have DRS. And GP looks like he's ahead into the braking zone. But Valdemar making an issue of it. Wanting that position. Taking that position.
Calzo's right. You got on board with Calzo, look, that's what I can say.
I'm on board with it.
Look very wide through 10-11. Oh, Calzo's put us some industry there, though. Oh, that's any advantage he gained off. But yeah, I've been watching Calzo on board, and I think his best chance would be into turn 12, trying to get a run through turn 11. And yeah, if he had any bit of run then, he had a good chance to look to go more.
You know when the best time he might want to try that as well? On the last lap. Yeah, because he's in a bit of a situation here where Loki's got good straight line speed, so he either needs to get ahead of Loki and pull away and break DRS, or he needs to pass him on the last lap. Either into turn 1 at the start of the last lap, or somewhere else on the lap. On that last lap. But Temp, keep an eye on the battle there up at the front.
The train in the main straight again.
That's what I'm coming to. I knew Tony would be watching it. So we've got Farfba, Valdemar from a racing GP into turn 1, all on soft tyres. Are they all going to make it? Where are they? Where are they? There's a Renault missing.
He's in the wall.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. In the wall. No front wing.
Front wing, yeah, front wing.
Oh dear, and his race is over. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's see, is GP attacking Mali Kekec? No, he is not. Jason and Bleeding Sunrise, there's a gap between those two, but SPL Mali Kekec is catching Jason. Caribbean Crush, is he catching Konzo? No, he's not.
Going around the outside of turn 1. Going for a switchback. He's at the inside. Loki just got a lot better traction though than Calzo. He needs to try something different. I think one thing he could try is taking a different line from the final corner, because Loki takes a lot wider line and Calzo's staying tight, so when he comes to getting traction out the final corner, Loki's just gone.
Yeah,
so said if I was Calzo, I'd do something different.
It's something that Hindle was talking about as well on the World Series Reserves commentary. The final corner here, there's a few different ways to go around it, and if Calzo took a much wider entry into the corner, it may give him a better run out of the corner, giving him a better opportunity to attack.
Little sector.
He is.
Right.
Oh, he's having a look! Oh! That was closer than I think either driver would have wanted it to be, but showing again that through that middle sector, Calzo's setup is a hell of a lot better than Mr. Loki's. I mean, it could be as well that Loki's running a lean engine through there and Calzo might not be. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Tem. Get close, stay close, take a different line around the final corner, give yourself a better run down for turn 1. And if that doesn't work, yeah, I mean, he is looking at other parts of the track, but unfortunately it's in places where it's just not quite working. And I wouldn't be surprised if it does come down to potentially a sort of side-by-side at turn 6, or, as you mentioned a little while ago, a attack into turn 12. I quickly want to apologise as well for a bit of dodgy audio here. Sounds like Mr. Loki's Williams has got a misfire. It is a little annoying. I can imagine it's annoying for you viewers. Imagine what it's like for us that have got headsets on and it's right into our eardrums. Tony, how's that train getting on?
Mali Kekec lining up for Jason in turn 1.
Okay, he's not been able to make the move, but he may have an opportunity on at the exit of the corner. Has he got it around the outside? He's trying. He's gone a little bit deep. That's going to give Jason an opportunity side by side to go. And Mali Kekec manages to just get ahead. Okay, 5 laps to go. Well, they're about to start lap 31 as a Haas gets out of the way. That'll be Gonk getting nicely out of the way for the drivers here up at the front. So Mr. Loki leading the way. Lap 31 begins, and a bit of a gap between himself and Calzo now. Konzo in 3rd place. I don't think he'll mind finishing there. He'd have preferred to finish 2nd or 1st, but he won't mind 3rd. Caribbean Crush hasn't been able to do anything about that gap, unfortunately, between himself and Konzo. Bleeding Sunrise running in 5th place, all on his own at the moment. SPL Mali Kekec, now he's got past Jason. I don't know if he's going to have the laps left to attack Bleeding Sunrise, but Jason's under pressure from a McLaren driver, and that's from Row Racing GP, who's on the soft compound tyre. So he's going to try and make a move here, I would guess. But if Jason's got DRS, it's going to help him defend down the start finish, and he has got DRS. But GP pulls out to the inside. He's going to have a look. He's going to have to try and brake as late as he can. But has he made any contact with Mali Kekec? I don't think he has. And as someone mentioned on YouTube, the cameras around here are fairly bloody terrible. So apologies if we can't catch all of the action. But the cameras aren't great. But that's GP up to 7th. And the battle continues with Mali Kekec. Dave the Harp, he's running in 9th place with Rickster in 10th. Last of the points paying positions with Millstar only a couple of seconds behind him in 11th. RDB, he's in 12th and he's fighting with the OG Dragon, having a bit of a battle for that one. Farfber in 14th place. He's on the super soft tyre. I don't know if that was tactical or damage that's caused that pit stop. And Gonk running in 15th place with Ant 69 16th. Couple of retirements already, as we know, but a fantastic race I think we've had.
Yeah, Council just can't find that extra 2/10 a lap. I'd say if I was in a position now, I'd just experiment with anything different things to try and gain time or get a better straight on speed on a fifth straight or something, at least have a go. I think he's got the second quite comfortable with his teammate, so.
But you have to remember he's a reserve driver and he doesn't, I think, take any unnecessary risks for possibly ending his race early.
Yeah, you know what, Tony, I will fully agree with you, but at the same time, neither of the Jank and Lime Manor drivers have been in this event, so any points the Mercedes score is a bonus, and they've already got quite a lead in the constructors. So, you know what, if I was Calzo's race engineer, or if I was Conzo, I'd be saying to him, don't worry about the points. If you think you've got an opportunity to get him, go for it. Obviously don't crash him off, but yeah, don't be afraid of taking a little bit of a risk.
Fanta wouldn't mind him crashing him off.
That is true, because it'd give him an extra few points. I mean, obviously at the moment with Conzo finishing, if he finishes in third place, he's on for gaining enough points to jump his teammate Hindle in the drivers' standings, and then as we enter the back end of the season, it's going to get very, very interesting. Especially if drivers like Mr. Loki, like Calzo, like Caribbean Crush, like Valdemar, SBL Mali Kekech, who are showing that they've got speed, are able to get in the mix for the lead. I'm going to keep the camera on this battle for the lead for the moment, so guys, I'm going to need you to update me on any battles that are happening elsewhere, because if there is a change for the lead now, I don't want to miss it.
We have 2 Ferrari boys. Probably next closest on track. I think everyone else maybe a little spread out.
Yeah, there is nothing else to see.
Yeah, Manfred just pitted for some super soft tyres, so more than likely going for the fast lap of the race. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so Loki then starting lap 34. I'm going to quickly mention question of the day again. Before we get to the end of this race, we will do question of the day on the podium interviews, which we'll do with obviously the podium sitters, first place, second place, third place. If you have any questions that you'll want us to put to the podium sitters, feel free to put them in the YouTube chat, put at FRR and ask your questions, and we'll put them to the drivers at the time if we can. But the question of the day, feel free to have a guess of this one, and that is, what is the fastest time recorded covering a mile in a bomb disposal suit? So how quickly has someone covered a mile in a bomb disposal suit?
And if you want to know how Dave knows the answer to that, it's because Dave did it.
Yeah, it was me. I was putting the devices into some of the team's garages, but they haven't gone off yet.
Surprised me.
Yeah.
While you was mentioning that, Rickson made a move on Jason into turn 12, so, well, saying that's what Calzo, well, firstly, I think that's what Calzo needs to try and do.
Well, Rickster may also be able to catch up to Dave the Harp. It depends if he's got enough time. But we're about to start the last lap of the race, and Mr. Loki is still leading it. There's a little bit of a gap between these two now. I don't know if Calzo is going to be able to be close enough to have a run at him on this final lap. You're right, Tony, no DRS, so he has dropped out of DRS range. That's going to compromise him on this final lap. But something we haven't looked at either, or at least I know I haven't, is we may have no idea if any of the drivers have got in-game penalties, which could mix things up a lot. I just want to quickly remind my co-commentators as well that to take pictures of the race results as it comes up, if you could, that would be absolutely fantastic. But these 35 laps appear to have gone quite quickly, and it's been one hell of a race. I think
it's slowly getting around Dave the Hart, as you mentioned. Not quite in DRS though, so it's going to be a non-DRS move if he does do it.
Okay, well, give me a shout if it's going to happen. If it's going to happen while Mr. Loki's crossing the line, we may have to miss it because he's coming down into turn 12. Calzo just a little too far back to make anything try and work on this final lap. As SBL Mali Kekech puts in the fastest lap of the race. He's going to have one more attempt at beating it. But here we go then, Mr. Loki. It's been a fantastic battle between himself and Calzo, but he has Come across the line, has he yet? No, he's got to keep going. He's just given away the lead.
Oh no!
He's just given away the lead to Calzo. He's slowed down before the finish line. Oh my days! I can't believe I've just seen that happen. Caribbean Crush, he's going to cross the line in 4th place. I think he's got Millstar right behind him in 5th place. I can't believe what I've just seen. Mr. Loki, unless Calzo's got an in-game penalty or something like that, but oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
It still showed Loki winning the race for me, but Rixer is right behind David Hart coming into the front corner. Is he going to go around the outside? He's trying. He's going for it. He might get him over the line. No, David Hart holds it, but good effort from Rixer there.
It says Mr. Loki won the race, but race director says Calzo won. So I wonder who actually won this amazing race.
We'll have to wait and see. I tell you what's not over either. Both Force Indias cross the line next to each other, or just behind each other. It's showing me that Calzo won the race. Yeah. It's got the wrong names on them, but that is Calzo by 0.086 of a second. This is where I would ask as well that drivers don't leave the lobby before we get to the race results screen, otherwise it gives us all the wrong names. But yeah, I tell you what, if Mr. Loki has just gifted away the victory there by slowing down too much, thinking he'd got it in the bag, that's one hell of a boo-boo.
Yeah, and it's only ever you that shows the driver names. They're all perfectly fine for me.
Maybe it's from... leaving and joining. It doesn't always happen though. I think, frustratingly.
Yeah. I don't know if Matty Kekec had ran out of fuel going across the line there, because he was right next to 2 Force Indies. He's actually dropped behind another car there as well. So with the penalty he had, he may have run out of fuel.
Well, okay. Podium interviews are going to be coming in a moment. We may not be able to get Mr. Loki in, depending on whether he's had to rush off to work. But you know what? Oh, that's an end to a race that you never want to see. But you know what? It spices things up quite interestingly. I mean, Calzo has done well in the World Series reserve races. And he's done well here today as well. I mean, fighting hard through that event, but I don't want to say he was gifted the win, but in a way he was gifted the win. But he took the win. You can't argue with it. It doesn't matter how you win, as long as you win it fairly. It doesn't matter. Fair play. So as we wait for Arazor21 to invite the podium sitters in, Mr. Loki... Calzo, and 3rd place was Conzo, I believe, sorry, 1st place Calzo, 2nd place Mr. Loki, and 3rd place Conzo, and we shall have a chat with those drivers. But wow.
Makes you feel just as bad as what you did to me last season around here. So,
oh, hang on, I don't know. I wasn't gifted it though, was I? See, I very nearly I did very nearly have question of the day as who won last season's World Championship race around here, but I thought no, that would be cruel. No. So Calzo and Conzo have joined us. So guys, please make sure you got your microphones set to share. We'll just hang on one moment to see if Mr. Loki is going to be able to join us. He may not. He does usually have to rush off to work on a Thursday. So I'll tell you what, we'll crack on in a moment. We'll give Calzo and Conzo the opportunity to grab themselves a drink. We'll give Temp and Tony the opportunity to compose themselves and get ready to ask some questions. We'll start off though with Calzo. Calzo, a very exciting, very interesting race there. First and foremost, connection held up, which is great to see. But what an end to the race. Do you think that Mr. Loki's just made one hell of a mistake, or do you not care? You're just going to take it anyway?
I think Mr. Loki actually gave it to me in the line. I don't think he made a mistake at all. I think he just gave it to me in the line.
Well, I can't say I would have done, not because of who you are or anything like that, but if I'm in position to win a race, I'm winning that race. But I mean, nevertheless, I mean, I'd be surprised if he backed off too soon, but I'd be surprised as well if he gifted a position. Okay, so the race, the early stages was frantic. You gained a couple of positions off the start as well. So tell us a little bit about the start, because, like I say, it looked like you were able to gain a couple of positions.
Well, I had a decent start this time. I decided to stick behind RDB and I'll start down turn 1, try and avoid a wreck. I eventually got past him, but I actually can't remember where I got past him. I was so concentrated on catching Mr. Loki.
Well, there were stages of that race where there were multiple different leaders. You may have seen the collision between Valdemar. I think there's a collision between Valdemar and Bleeding Sunrise, or Bleeding Sunrise and SBL Mali Kekec. They were just ahead of you anyway. That sort of freed you and Mr. Loki up not long after your pit stops, which made the win a little more possible. But my only sort of question left for you, and I'll hand over to the commentary team, is how much are you going to rub this one in your brother's face?
A lot. Probably too much.
Well, we'll see
He's
what...
a bit annoyed at now, I've gone.
Well,
just hold up the L sign.
I would hate that. But we'll come to Konzo in a few moments. So, Tony, any questions for our race winner, Calzo?
Yeah, I've just quickly watched back that end of the race there, and me personally, I think Mr. Loki's made a mistake, but that's up for debate. But you were stuck behind him for however many laps during that race. You got ahead of him 1 or 2 times, I think, but I was saying that you just, and so was Dave actually, in the middle sector you were just all over him. You hands down had a quicker car in the middle sector, but then come to the first, the pit straight and then the straight after turn 1, you had it on him. I did mention about taking in different lines or trying different methods through corners to try and get a better run, but did that cross your mind at all, or was you simply just couldn't do anything to get past him?
I tried a few different lines in the race, but his straight line speed was absolutely on a different planet. The slipstream was very good to me. I got side by side with him a few times, but I wasn't quite fast enough at turn 2.
I'm guessing you was using Rich down into turn 1 then, I presume.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Rich, DRS, getting out, pushing it, and it still didn't work.
Good driver there. I don't know if Arazor's got any comments here. He's don't know if he's been seen straight all last night.
I have 2 questions. First, how does it feel like a reserve drive win in a bag? And do you have any special messages to Hindle watching the race?
Thanks, Hindle, for picking me. I think I did him proud. And it was such an interesting race as well. Bloody hell.
Literally like match
Tony, any other questions for him?
What was the first question? I forgot it.
How does it feel like reserve drive and win in the bag?
Well, I like that I've beaten other reserves today, and some people have been called up today as well. The permit drivers have beaten them, and I've showed that our connection can withstand each other, so who knows what the future holds.
Definitely.
Is that the biggest positive out of this for you, the connection?
No, I'm very, very happy to beat Corden. That was what my number 1 aim was.
Oh, you're so getting a dead leg tonight, I tell you. Okay, we're going to move on to Konzo, if he's finished raging. Konzo, how much do you wish he had disconnected now?
Yeah, it would have been a bit easier on the pain, but
he's going to be unbearable, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but I'll just break his other leg. Yeah, I don't know if he's known this, but he broke his leg on New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. So he's had a broken leg for quite a while, on crutches and everything, missed his exams. So.
I wonder how he did that.
Yeah. Oh, it's a long story, but it's too long. But anyway, so yeah, he has that.
Still a leg this time.
Anyway, so Konzo, your race was, for about 75% of it, was just as interesting as everybody else's was. Obviously, there was a lot going on ahead of you. It looked like you weren't able to get as good a start as your teammate did, staying in the 8th place. So was that through difficulties at the start, keeping safe at the start?
The start was difficult to take, especially the first one after the restart, because I actually got up to 4th place from the start, and obviously the safety car restart, whatever happened there, don't know if I was too happy with it, to be honest, but whatever happened to Mali Kekic, he should have just went anyway, and then peeled the penalty after the race, but I suppose that's why the reserve drivers there. So yeah, I mean, the start of the race, the second time, yeah, I got stuck behind Bleeding Sunrise, and it was I don't know who it was, maybe Valdemar probably, but they kept getting DRS off each other, so there was no point in pushing it at all. And then while I was not pushing it, I ended up taking half my front wing off. So I had to pit and get a front wing on. Otherwise, I reckon I would have been at the front right behind Callum and Mr. Roki, because I was only 4 seconds behind after all that.
Yeah, we did see that you did lose a lot of time around the pit stop window. And, I mean, it also looked like there was quite a bit of traffic for you when you did come out of the pits as well.
Yeah, I had to overtake. I think I overtook 2 cars, one at turn 1 and one at turn 2. Running outside of turn 2, so I've definitely got some good overtaking highlights this race. It's just not the fastest way, unfortunately, sometimes. But that was down to qualifying a little bit as well.
So what happened in qualifying? Because I mean, we were not expecting yourself to be in the position you was. I mean, I said sort of at the end of qualifying that, or just for the start of the race, that has put you in a bit of a danger zone and possibly damaging the opportunity to really gain maximum points.
Yeah, it did damage me a bit. I mean, I knew I was capable of like at least a 20.7, so, and that would have probably put me into maybe 5th place, maybe something like that, which would have been a lot better than where I started in 8th. So, yeah, but this is all in hindsight. I still gained points in Ryan in the end of the day.
Yeah,
not as much as I wanted to.
And
13 points is what it should be. So, it's going to be an interesting one till the end of the season, anyway. That's for sure.
That it will be. Okay, Tony, Temp, any questions for Konzo?
Yeah, thanks for taking my question. I was going to ask. I don't know if you're keeping an eye on YouTube, but I've seen 2 very interesting comments.
I am. Don't worry, we'll get to them in a moment.
You'll enjoy those. But yeah, I said about halfway through that race, Konzo, you didn't seem to be as confident or as comfortable as previous races. I mean, like you say, 4 wins. You've been the man of the moment. You've been absolutely supreme, but you just didn't seem on in this race from what I could see. Did you feel it yourself, or did you feel like the 2 guys ahead were like a next level above you?
To be fair,
he doesn't want to say that about his brother, does he?
No. Well, I had the fastest medium laps in the end, so yeah, it shows you how quick I was at the end of the race compared to them. But yeah, just a wee bit devastated, but it's happened sometimes. You can't win them all, and Cal made the most of his opportunity at the start, gained a few places, whereas I didn't, which in the end probably cost me a little bit.
Okay, Tony, any questions for Konzo?
Yeah, you and Cal were like 2nd and 3rd, very long time in the race. Were there any speak about team orders in the race?
I wasn't close enough even to get near that. Callum Andy's place in 2nd, fighting for the win. think I was at least 10 seconds behind, and I managed to claw it back to 4 seconds in the end. But yeah, it's just not. It wasn't enough for anything to do with that.
Any more, Tony?
Well, I was wondering, what does it feel like 1 and 3 finish here and manor racers didn't even show up, so you are gaining a big points here compared to manor in a construction standings.
Yeah. Constructors, well, I don't know how they're going to gain the points back on us, but if it keeps going the way it's going, I think we'll be finished by Japan. Maybe maybe the race before that, I don't know. But yeah, it's as it stands for the second half of the season, it's not really about constructors because we know we've kind of wrapped that up almost. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. I mean, a couple of things I would say is we'll get on to the questions on YouTube in a second. A couple of things I would say is that it would have been interesting to see what would have happened with Caribbean Crush, Valdemar, SBL Mali Kekech up there battling up at the front. Some of the collisions between those drivers were massively unfortunate, and it would have made it the end of the race just as spicy as the first 2/3 of the race. Okay, on to the YouTube questions. Let's see. Will Hindle be given his seat back?
No, like it's a hard one. Nah, yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll be back in the car.
Let's put it this way: Calzo's got the same amount of wins as Hindle this season. You see, just as equal.
That makes me feel a bit better.
Okay, next question to Calzo. Well done, buddy. This is from G5 King. Well done, buddy. Do you think you will replace Overdyking next season?
What, in the World Championship? Are you joking? I'll give WCR a go.
Well, you know what? I was talking to your brother earlier, and I was saying I think you should give WCR a go. For a couple of reasons. One, you show you got some talents, and two, if there is any fears of connectivity, then maybe having a race in the World Championship as a reserve is an opportunity as well that may not be affected by connectivity. And obviously, if you're newish to the game, you don't know until you try. Okay, next question. To all the drivers, are you as excited as I am for Hockenheim? And this is from Drew.
Hockenheim. I don't think I've even been on that track yet. I'm on it in career mode though. I always do them at career mode races, like in conjunction with this, so it gives me a good race practice before.
Konzo releasing one of his strategic secrets.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah, that makes it a little bit different. Calzo, I've got to say, if there's a reserve drive available in the World Series next time out, I won't be surprised if you get a knock on the door, or if any of the teams are looking for a permanent driver. I think there also may be knocking on the door as well after what you've done here today. Obviously, there's reserve races next week in Hockenheim. So what are your thoughts on that track?
I've not really played any of the tracks on F1. I'm taking every track that comes. I've been on the game for like 3 months now.
Well, the first corner at Hockenheim goes left, and it helps if you take it flat out. Okay, there's a little bit of a lie, but yeah, gotta have some fun. Okay, it goes right, and it's not quite flat out. So,
is it a chicane by any chance?
No, it's quite a fast right-hand corner. Okay, next question. At Calzo, oh, it's not a question, it's more of a statement. My helmet is more red than yours. I think we'll leave that one there. Overdyking did reply as well to the question about replacing him next season. He said if anyone's going out, it's James. Okay, at FRR.
I second that.
Overdyking asking if the Mercedes are allowed 3 cars for the rest of the season. No, that would be unfair in the constructors. Okay, we're going to give question of the day to the drivers now. There's kind of 2 of them. I don't know if Tony's been able to find out the answer to one of them yet. The first one is, what did Arazor have for dinner? Because he ain't got a clue what it was. So you can have a guess of that one or think about that one if you like. But the real question of the day is, and it's an odd one. It is, what is the fastest recorded time for covering a mile in a bomb disposal suit?
You what?
Wow. You've completely changed the type of question of the day.
Yeah.
He would be absolutely sweating if he's running a mile in a bomb disposal suit.
Yeah, well, think how the person feels who's sat somewhere with a bomb that the person is going to a mile away. But yeah, so the fastest recorded time covered for covering a mile in a bomb disposal suit.
I'm going to go with, I don't know how slow it is actually, I'm going to say 21 minutes.
21 minutes.
I'm glad you ain't in bomb disposal. But okay, 21 minutes, Conzo.
Well, it depends. Is you going to be running away like? I'll double that. I'll go 40.
What?
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, 40 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. There have been
a lot heavy though, isn't it?
there have been a couple of guesses on YouTube, and I can say that they were all wrong. There have been a few guesses coming at what.
I mean, I'm thinking like 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. What? You're on about 40 minutes in a mile in that thing. Yeah, quicker.
Yeah, I think it's heavy. You ever seen those army movies when the guys walking to the bomb?
I know what you're on about, but 40 minutes.
Anyway, okay, couple of guesses of what Arazor had for dinner. Drew saying macaroni and cheese, also saying bagel with cream, salad, tuna, pizza. And somebody, I'm not sure exactly who that is, but you'll love this answer, Temp. Someone has put he had Jason.
Yeah, I did see that.
he did. Jason was preparing for his race, and he's not into the breakfast of champions just yet. But yeah, okay. All of the guesses for the question of the day were wrong, because the correct answer is it took 8 minutes, 29 seconds. A gentleman called Zoltan Meszaros achieved such the task, and he did it in Budapest in Hungary. And that's where the connection comes from. It happened in Hungary. So that's how I found out about that. So random connection created. But yeah, 8.5 minutes basically to walk a mile, or maybe he was running in a bomb disposal suit.
And you thought my guess was mad.
Well, the guess without thinking, so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, if I'd have been asked the question, I would have had no idea how to answer that one.
If it was a mile over a minefield, then yeah, it would take him 40 minutes. Probably.
Yes, definitely, you probably would. Okay. Time to begin wrapping this up then. So well done to Calzo on taking a debut win in the World Series as a reserve for Hindle, and he'll be knocking on the Mercedes team manager's door saying, what do you want that guy racing for? I'm quicker than he is. But we'll have to wait to see what happens in the future. Well done to Mr. Loki, who should have won the race but didn't. He finished in second with a very dramatic end. And Conzo, frustrated, annoyed. Brother's getting a dead leg. I said dead leg, you said broken leg. So yeah, his brother's getting a bit of a beating tonight. Someone called Child Services. But good luck on that one. I'm glad I'm not in your place tonight, because I can imagine it'd be absolutely nightmarish dealing with little brother being quicker. But well done anyway. And well done to the rest of the drivers for taking part, making it such an exciting race. And also thank you to the viewers for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe and share. Final thank yous to TempFear and Arazor21, who has done very, very well on commentary today, considering he's just spent the last few days in Amsterdam, which is why he may have sounded a little bit different. But anyway, we'll leave that one there. Next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be this Sunday for the Project Cars DTM's Season 5 Round 6. And I've forgotten which track it is. I do fully apologise. Check out the Front Row Racing Facebook page. Monday's pinned post. It'll be at the top of the page. All the details will be on there. But come and join us for that live on YouTube at 8 p.m. And that's just about it from all of us here. So this has been the Front Row Racing's World Series. You can join us in 2 weeks' time for round 12 from the Hockenheim Ring. See you all later.